very, very heavy on my heart. Um, so to give you a general statement about what I'm going to talk about, it's about boys. It's about boys. It's about males. It's about boys that we are trying to raise to be well well brought up men, wholesome men. And I have three boys. One 11, one is 5, and the other is 2 years old. And I've been around males my whole life. I'm the youngest of 6 brothers and 1 sister, and also I am surrounded. My whole family is surrounded. Out of 28 cousins, probably a little more than 2/3 of them are boys. So I grew up around boys my entire life, and my entire life I've observed, and I didn't really notice this until I had my own boys, until I found myself until I found having to stop myself from saying certain things that our boys were objectified to. So things like why boys aren't allowed to cry, why boys aren't allowed, and I have gotten on some family members on telling my sons that they shouldn't cry, or why are you crying like a little girl, things like that. What do you mean, stop crying like a little girl? What does that mean? We are all human. We were not born differently anatomically, other than the gender, the sex that we were born, our sexual organ. But what does that mean to stop crying like a girl? Why is it okay for a female to cry, but it's not okay for a boy to cry? And this is the reason why we have angry men, because angry men are not allowed to cry as children. And they don't know how to process their emotions. So in my head, I'll be damned if you ever tell my sons to stop crying like a little girl, because you're not going to stop the development process of my children just because of your insecurities, just because of a insecurity that you haven't been able to figure out because it was passed on to you. And I apologize. I apologize in every way, shape, or form that you weren't allowed to develop without having insecurities, the insecurities of others projected upon you. That's number one, the crying side. Do not tell my boys that they cannot cry. I think we should tell our boys that it's okay to cry. I think that we should also teach our boys that it's okay to cry and process through your emotions until you stop crying. I don't think it's healthy for us to tell anyone to stop crying for no reason, because in their little brains, they do think that, having their toy taken away from them is a big deal. And if they learn how to process those emotions on a smaller scale, and they learn how to process the emotions of a toy being taken away from them or a toy breaking, then slowly but surely they're going to be able to process the emotions of a heartbreak, or a confrontation with someone in school or at their jobs or something. So that's number one. I also don't think that boys should be subjected to what they should and shouldn't like based on what is gender appropriate. I don't think that a boy should be subjected to the color blue and a girl should be subjected to the color pink. I just don't agree with that. I think boys should go through whatever they like. I mean, hell, my husband's favorite color is purple. I mean, then you had Cameron that went through the whole pink stage for whatever reason. We're not going to go there. But at the same time, what does that mean for a boy to like a color that's not gender, that's gender biased, which basically means to like a color, the girly colors? What does that mean? Because I have a 5-year-old son, and he loves the color pink. He doesn't like to wear it, but if he's picking something, if I have like a blue bubble or a pink bubble, and it's encased in the blue, it's encased in those colors, he would pick the pink because he likes the color pink. And it's okay for him to like the color pink without it being okay or not okay for us to be okay with him liking the color pink. I think our issue is what we project upon ourselves, and we project these issues onto these children, and we stop their developmental process just because we're insecure. No, let him find out that if he likes the color pink, let him find out if he doesn't like it. Let him find out if he likes another color. Because while his color was pink one week, now his favorite color is green. And it's kind of like, oh, so he figured out that he didn't like the color pink. But even if he went into manhood, adulthood, with liking the color pink, why are certain family members saying that it's not okay for him to like the color pink? I'm not really concerned. I'm raising boys that are going to develop into well brought up men. And I'm raising boys that are going to be certain of themselves and not be in a world where they end up actually hurting themselves, or they end up going to into a world of depression just because they want to be certain with themselves, but they don't know how to be because the world has projected so much uncertainty upon them. The boys that I'm raising are going to become someone's boss, someone's husband, boyfriend, someone, whether they believe in marriage or not, someone's anything they want to be. But whatever they are will have nothing to do with why they are. Whatever they are, they're going to be so certain of who they are that this world is not going to be able to tear them down. And also, I want my boys, even if they don't grow up in a world that does not accept them, I want them to grow up in a world where they accept themselves. And what I mean is by, if you accept yourself energetically and spiritually, you're going to attract the people around you. You're going to attract the like minds around you. So yes, there aren't many people that are open-minded in this world. But by the boys being certain of themselves, by the boys being certain of their values and being certain of their likes and being certain of their dislikes, and also having an open mind about how that certainty of themselves should not be projected upon the world, it creates more of an accepting environment. So yes, I accepted myself to like what I like, and I also accept you to like what you like. And the reason why I can accept you is because I accept and love myself. Now, the same thing with my 5-year-old. He has a really excited mind. His mind is really complex, and people who know him, they love him because he just has, his mind doesn't work the way ours work. He sees the world differently, and I would love to be able to sit in his shoes for a day just to be able to see things the way he sees it. So he wanted for his birthday, for his 5th birthday, initially he wanted a My Little Pony cake because he loves the show My Little Pony. He also loves the Power Rangers. He also loves the Nickelodeon shows, that YouTube Ryan, Nickelodeon YouTuber who made it big. He loves all of that. He's not for what's for girls and what's for boys. So he loves Twilight Sparkle, My Little Pony, as much as he loves the Power Rangers, as much as he loves Paw Patrol, as much as he loves PJ Masks, as much as he loves Catboy from PJ Masks. And so at one point he wanted a cake. And I suggested if he wanted the cake that he should tell us. And a family member suggested that he shouldn't get the cake because he was a boy and that's a girl's cake. Oh man. All I have to say is that wasn't a very good conversation to have with my son about what cake he can and can't have. Because I am not here, again, my boys are not here to feed your uncertainty about yourself. My boys are not here to feed your insecurities about yourself. My boys are not here to feed anything that you are trying to project upon this world. They're not your punching bag. We need to be delicate with our boys, as delicate as we are with our girls. And we need to be a little bit more compassionate for our girls, but maybe I'll have a different session on girls. I just really wanted to focus on boys. Because we really need to start projecting the power of choice upon them. As long as they're not hurting anybody, what's wrong with him wanting to wear something that's unconventional? What's wrong with wanting him to have a favorite color that's not gender biased? And I know what you might say is, this world is full of bullies. This world is full of people who are not very accepting. And that is true. that a boy liking the color, or a boy liking something that a boy is not supposed to like, could make them vulnerable to being bullied or objectified to uncertainty. But where is it gonna start if it doesn't start at home? We need to raise our children, and we need to start at home, and we need to do it the right way, because obviously we are creating the bullies at home. We are creating unstable environments for our children, whether we're doing it intentionally or unintentionally. We're creating an environment where children are now, man, children are really killing themselves because the next child doesn't know how to deal with their emotions, and they bring their hurt from home to school and take that out on another kid, who in hand, the kid ends up killing themselves, universe forbid, because they don't want to tell their parents that they're being bullied. So something has to give at home. We have to let our children process their emotions. We have to let our children state their opinions. Where we have to, it's not our children, by stating their opinion. There's a way, an approachful way to approach their parents without being. It's a way to state your opinion without being smart, without having a smart mouth. But we were taught that, oh, if you disagree with your parents, that's not, you're being smart mouth or you're being rude. No, children come with their own opinions. Children develop their own opinions, and we steal things away from them by projecting our opinions, by telling them what they should do, what they should believe, what color their favorite color should be, how they should dress, what cartoons they should like, based on gender biases or biasness. Um, and it really, really grinds my gear that saying boys will be boys is not acceptable. That saying boys will be boys are giving our boys an excuse to be irresponsible, to be angry, to feel like they're weak, so they can be angry, because boys will be boys. Boys don't cry. They're gonna punch a wall as opposed to crying on your shoulder. That's not okay. That's not okay. We have to start letting our boys process themselves, process their emotions. We have to develop an energy of certainty for them, project that energy of certainty for them. We have to develop self-love within ourselves, so that we can project that same self-love that we have within us to our boys. And that's what we need to start doing. And if we don't start doing that, then where are we going? Where are we going? Why are we here? Are we here to post things on social media? Are we here to post fights? Are we here to have our children watch these fights? Are we here to have our children feel like they're worthless if they only have 5 followers? Is this really the world we're coming to? A world that is only that only feels worthy if they have a certain amount of views, a certain amount of likes? What are we here for if we are not teaching them the right thing? If we're not teaching them how to feed their souls? If we're not teaching them how to nurture their own egos, so that their ego will not get the best of them? What are we teaching them? Are we teaching them to operate from an egotistical approach, or are we teaching them how to operate from a soul approach? Are we teaching them to lose the world to gain their souls, or are we teaching them to gain the world and just lose your soul? What are we teaching our boys? Our boys, we are all important, but this focus is on our boys. And we really have a responsibility to our boys as they are little children. Stop telling your boys what they should like based on their gender. Stop telling your boys to stop crying like a little girl. Stop telling your boys to stop crying. Let them go in the room and process their emotions. Do some breathing exercises. Meditate with them. I meditate with my boys, and they love to meditate. Teach them. And they will learn, not necessarily by your words, but they will learn by your example. We have to protect our boys, because our boys are here to protect us. We have to. A boy might, I heard this saying where a boy may act like his father or look like his father, but he will have the heart of his mother. He might do what his father does. I'm sorry. A boy may do what his father does, but he will have the heart of his mother. So he will do it with his mother's heart. And that's who essentially and psychologically who your boy will look for in a woman. You know, psychologically we look for our mother, the opposite sex, and whoever we're with, whether it's a woman or a man, whatever way they go. We're in 2019, people catch up. But yes, so yes, we have to stop letting our boys be boys. In that saying, we have to shift the paradigm. We have to change. We have to change the will. We have to reinvent the will so that this world can be a better place. And that's all I have for you.